Ping, 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 nigga shit. Where the cream, nigga shit. Make it ring, nigga shit. Who the king in this bitch? Tell him fuck him, I ain't done. I'm gonna reload my gun. He my son now. I want Super Saiyan 25. Super Saiyan 25. Super Saiyan 25. Super Saiyan 20. If you want, you can throw your ones. I don't give a fuck if you gon' go nuts. Taste my flesh, you gon' eat these guns. I'm the best out, nigga, I don't give a fuck. Who say what? High as fuck in the Maybach truck. Excuse my French, I'm drunk. Hey, where my fucking prodigies? I'm Super Saiyan Sensei. Not even Goku can hide away from this here Sensei. Fuck you up with one eye closed and one hand in the strip, eh? No man gooping ben shit. No man gooping ben shit, bitch. I'm finna clone me somebody. It's copy the meanest, copy the meanest, copy the meanest, copy the meanest clocks. This year how to kick rocks, bad romance between robots and PC bots. Ping, 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 nigga shit. Where the cream, nigga shit. Make it ring, nigga shit. Who the king in this bitch? Tell him fuck him, I ain't done. I'm gonna reload my gun. He my son now. I want Super Saiyan 25. Super Saiyan 25. Super Saiyan 25. Super Saiyan 25.
What up? Going Super Saiyan today, man. Let's get it one more time. 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 Go.
Ping, 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 nigga shit. Where the cream, nigga shit. Make it ring, nigga shit. Who the king in this bitch? Tell him fuck him, I ain't done. I'm gonna reload my gun. He my son now. I want Super Saiyan 25. Super Saiyan 25. Super Saiyan 25. Super Saiyan 20. If you want, you can throw your ones. I don't give a fuck if you gon' go nuts. Taste my flesh, you gon' eat these guns. I'm the best out, nigga, I don't give a fuck. Who say what? High as fuck in the Maybach truck. Excuse my French, I'm drunk. Hey, where my fucking prodigies? I'm Super Saiyan Sensei. Not even Goku can hide away from this here Sensei. Fuck you up with one eye closed and one hand in the strip, eh? No man gooping ben shit. No man gooping ben shit, bitch. I'm finna clone me somebody. It's copy the meanest, copy the meanest, copy the meanest, copy the meanest clocks. This year how to kick rocks, bad romance between robots and PC bots. Ping, 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 nigga shit. Where the cream, nigga shit. Make it ring, nigga shit. Who the king in this bitch? Tell him fuck him, I ain't done. I'm gonna reload my gun. He my son now. I want Super Saiyan 25. 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 Super Saiyan 25.
What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? AWAD. I'm saying, you know, I gotta open it up by just like putting up a few uploads, right? You feel me? Just so that if you watching ain't got nothing to do but watch my shit, I appreciate that. But this is the part where I want you to probably maybe imitate, you know what I'm saying? If it could be anything beneficial for you. So, you know what I'm saying? We upload, you uploading with me while we're listening to how Tyler turned Black America against herself. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we jamming in the background. I also wanna do a few TikTok uploads, right?
And if she wants these fans, she needs to know how to appeal to these fans. And you saying what you saying and you carrying these situations how you were carrying them ain't really resonate with the Black American fan. But y'all know how the internet be. They trying to, you know, make situations look worse than what they were, because here in America, like I said, y'all know the meaning of that word. South Africa, they use different. And it's still a common word there that they used, if I'm not mistaken. I think people are just so used to how things are in America that people be thrown off when they hear something different, or they hear a word treated different, or a word holds different weight in another country, because they didn't necessarily go through the same things that we went through. And this was such a big thing that we had everybody speaking on it. Remember the Breakfast Club interview that I played, where her peoples was in the back trying to get Charlamagne not to talk about this, kind of trying to control the interview. Well, after the interview happened and everybody seen what went down, Charlamagne would do an interview digging into the actual situation surrounding that. He would, you know, explain his thought process and what went on that day.
So basically a colored person is like a mixed person. So if you were mixed race here in America, we call it mixed race.
Yeah, man, we're talking about colored people right now, yo. The energy around colored people at the moment is actually pretty tough. I'm saying, if you know, you know. If you're the type to dig deep on these kind of things, yo, when we talking colored, it's pretty, yeah.
You'd be called colored over there.
Simple. All I was doing was trying to give her an opportunity to clear it up, because they said that's been a thing for her.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing about the label. This is what I want to say so everybody knows. Labels always will come and say, can you not ask this? Can you not ask that? Depending what it is, like if it's something like really personal, you know, really serious, something I know is traumatizing, I'll be like, sure, I'll oblige. For this one, I said no.
Yeah.
And the reason I said no, they had 6 things they didn't want us to ask. You want to know what those 6 things were?
Yeah.
They didn't want us to ask about Kai Cenat. The whole "we friends" though thing, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
They didn't want to ask. They didn't want us to ask about her not being on tour with Chris Brown anymore. They didn't want us to ask about the color thing.
Injury.
They didn't want us to ask about her injury that she sustained. What else was it? They didn't want to ask us about who she was dating, which I wouldn't do anyway. And what was the other one? It was one so it was just all frivolous stuff.
And why? What are they trying to do? They're trying to protect an image that they're curating for her?
I have no idea. And that's why I said comparison. And it wasn't even reality. It just said comparisons to other pop artists. Huh?
Oh, so they're trying to separate her from Kai Cenat. She's her own individual. Don't tie her to him.
And you want me to not ask her about Kai Cenat the day after Kevin Hart just was on Kai Cenat's show again with a big ass sign that said "we friends" though?
Yeah.
Like, come on, yo. So I said to them, no.
Oh.
Now, when I say no, I'm not going to oblige any of this. It is your job then, label, management, whoever, to either prepare the artist for the questions or pull the interview.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm fine with either or.
Yeah.
I've already told you I'm not going to follow any of this.
Yes.
So when you see dick suckers out there,
Yeah.
dick suckers are saying things like, you know, he asked every question they asked him not to ask.
Yeah.
It's because I'm not a dick sucker.
Yeah.
Right? And being that I'm not a dick sucker for record labels,
Yeah.
I have a job to do, and my job is for the people.
But it wasn't just Charlamagne speaking on it.
She seems, again, she's a young woman. I love her debut album. I'm not talking about musically. I'm talking about when she shows up in support of the music. She comes off like a dick. This is Armand Wiggins' tweet right here, Spiritual World, my girl Big Mel. Hold me down. Armand Wiggins says, hey, I don't think I like Tyler's personality. I think someone needs to check her because she doesn't understand American culture at all. I could not agree more with this. He almost gives off entitled or uppity African. I don't know how to explain it, but it's very off-putting, and it's almost like she expects people to just fall to her feet. That is Armand Wiggins, who I f with a lot. Shout out to him. If you don't know him, Google him yourself.
About her,
but I felt like this before the VMA.
Hold on, let me just check something out real quick.
Right now, I'm the most followed South African musician.
It's crazy.
Do you get what I'm saying? Well, after Tyler, sorry, I have to humble myself.
The voice went down. Tyler, sorry to humble myself.
Tyler, ke Papa Rona. Tyler! Guys, Tyler is not our mother, she's our father. As African entertainers, Zwab Zololo. Zwab, leka go naija kwaka, Zwab Zololo. Tyler ke Papa Rona, Papa Tyler. Her name should be Uncle Waffles. Tyler is our uncle, our father. She's doing everything that we wish we could do.
She's doing amazing.
She's out there at the Met Gala. Met Gala.
That's twice now.
Clapping them twice in a row. Boys, and Tyler is what every African artist wishes to be. Right now, I'm the most followed.
Look, bro, I feel like it's about like how you receive her. You know what I'm saying? Based off of what informed and what developed your moral fiber and what you value and what you find glorious and amazing. You feel what I'm saying? I feel like obviously from Casper Newverse's point of view, you know what I mean, being from, you know, they from the same kind of like soil environment and all of that, and then breaking through from that is nothing but, you know what I mean? Even though now it seems to be like on some industry plant type vibe, because apparently she dropped a project and it did like 3.7 thousand first week or some shit, like, you know what I'm saying? From being that super reacher of the numbers, dog, skyscraping, you know what I'm saying, with the numbers and shit like that, even internationally and all of that. So now it's like, she's giving industry plant vibes, but apparently she's Papalo. She's like the niggas' dads out there.
South African musician.
So I just wanted to like play that just to even point the difference between the feeling of Tyler, you know what I'm saying, and the perception of Tyler. So I feel, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I feel like it depends on like the angle at which like you look at things, probably.
By the way, because she popped up at the Barclays in support of Usher.
Awesome.
And when Usher attempted to do his showmanship dance while her record is playing, come on, we in front of 20,000 people, let's get in our bag. She dubbed him. There's mad money being spent on putting you where you need to be seen properly. Usher Raymond does not have to bring your little new artist ass on stage.
Maybe. And he said, I don't know this girl, but I don't like how she acts. What?
Right.
Fam.
Yo, dog, but every time you see her visibly, there is something like this. There was the Breakfast Club interview where it's like, okay, got it. There's this, Usher. There's this when she accepted the award. Girl, stop it now. Stop. You don't know that you getting up there to accept the award.
Yeah, so she looks back there and like her team jumps in. Unfortunately, I think, I think she did the best thing by not really saying anything about this. And some people might be like, is there a problem if she did answer the question? I think what happens is that things get lost in translation, especially when you're talking to Black Americans. And I think Burna Boy suffered from that a lot, right? Where every time he wanted to explain how he viewed race or he viewed blackness, and it was more in line with how maybe people from his, region of the world, which is obviously, Nigeria, may view a topic, but it might not be all the way congruent with how Black Americans view it. People thought he was either, trying to act like he's more superior to Americans or whatever the case is. And people actually resented him a little bit. Like, I'm talking about Burna Boy. He had to issue statements or whatever, correcting whatever he had to. Every time he wanted to explain.
There's this Usher. There's this when she accepted the award. Girl, stop it now. Stop. You don't know that you getting up there to accept the award.
Yeah, so she looks back there and like her team jumps in. Unfortunately, I think, I think she did the best thing by not really saying anything about this. And
Why?
some people might be like, yo, is there a problem if she did answer the question? I think what happens is that things get lost in translation, especially when you're talking to Black Americans. And I think Burna Boy suffered from that a lot, right? Where every time he wanted to explain how he viewed race or he viewed blackness, and it was more in line with how maybe people from his, region of the world, which is obviously, Nigeria, may view a topic, but it might not be all the way congruent with how Black Americans view it. People thought he was either, trying to act like he's more superior to Americans or whatever the case is. And people actually resented him a little bit. Like, I'm talking about Burna Boy. He had to issue statements or whatever, correcting whatever he had to say, because people felt like he was trying to like on Black Americans while bigging up Americans. I think that's one of the reasons why Tyler doesn't answer that question, right? Like, from when I'm hearing it, apparently there's a debate that they identify, and by the way, she's from South Africa, right? She identifies as color, not black, which, I mean, I really don't understand that. But this is what we have to, I keep telling everybody in the world, bro, or I keep telling everybody here.
There's just one of the things you don't understand unless you dive deep, do your research, do your homework.
When y'all are dealing with people that's not born in the United States, we got to start opening our minds. Like, the way how they view things and the way how they talk about things are very different. Their cultures are different.
Simple.
We have to start accepting that people might have grown up somewhere different and have a different type of discernment towards either labels or how they feel about certain shit. Makes me mad. Like I don't give a what she thinks about, like, that type of stuff, nor should you even what I think about it, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's an entertainer. It's an entertainer. Like these problems, if we're thinking about race or, colorism or whatever, they're bigger than this artist. So this is like an interesting moment, but I think she did the best job of not saying something.
And for a while, that was kind of the end of the whole color thing. It was a stain on her career, but nothing truly career ruining. Just rubbed a big part of the industry the wrong way until this year. Well, this month, when the whole color convo was sparked back up. Clip of her saying what she did started to recirculate online after she would drop this EP. Now, you would think this Grammy Award winning artist with all these hit songs and all of these accolades and this semi-global fan base, have some numbers behind them, right? And now, before y'all niggas get to, doing what y'all do, numbers ain't everything.
Yeah.
Numbers are not everything, and I say that all the time. A lot of my favorite albums didn't do good numbers.
Why you say that?
So numbers aren't everything. But it's just crazy to think about that she just put out a project that we be seeing these underground artists do more than. This niggas in the underground selling more than Tyler, which is crazy. They win no Grammy. Them niggas didn't have a #1 radio single. Well, I don't know if it was #1, but you get what I'm saying. They didn't have a hit song. Tyler would come out and she would drop a 4-pack. And this 4-pack did 3.7K first week with a WizKid feature on it. Now look, I get it. Of course the sales are gonna be low because it's an EP, it's less songs. But nigga, 3.7K? She did this internet in an uproar. People doing what they do best. They getting the clown.
Bro, what project is this? Hold on, I gotta find out what project this is, man. Tyler new project. Tyler new project? We want to party. WWP, which includes 4 songs. Okay. Okay. I see what you're saying, brother. Go on, I'm listening.
And they making fun of her, they doing all that, and then that's when the clips of her will kind of start to circulate.
I mean, it just reveals
laughing at her, Black America laughing at her, how you got Black America feeling away. Now you out here flopping. That was a whole big thing. And one fan dropped a tweet with over 7 million views that said this: I look like so many African/South Africans or Haitians don't respect Black people or Black Americans. They're colonized and taught to see us as a bad thing. Yet she wants to benefit off all of our sounds, looks, and American money. And this sparked up a huge convo online. And another fan will reply to this saying, when Tyler says she is not Black but colored, she was not speaking into the American conversation about race at all. She was speaking in the language of her own country, shaped by its own history. Yet her words detonated in America as though they had been aimed there. This is what happens when a nation has spent a century convincing the world that its definitions are the only ones that matter. America's greatest export has never been war, it's never been democracy, it's never been freedom. America's greatest export is the dream of itself. It's not that the films are inherently better, it's not that the music contains some mystical note absent elsewhere. What America had always had is money, reach, and a machinery built to make its image the center of the world. And here's the thing.
Obviously, a whole lot of people have been wondering, like, I feel like, you know what I'm saying, because I was wondering, but I saw the light, bro. The fact that, you know what I'm saying, why America or the West has so much influence across the whole world. You know what I'm saying? We end up like just consuming y'all media the way that you know, the way in which we ended up consuming y'all media. You feel what I'm saying? a whole lot of things that have just been loud. You know what I'm saying? In terms of from the America's point of view of the world. You know what I mean? So now obviously y'all had all this reach, all this. Wait, repeat that again. What you say y'all had?
That the music contains some mystical note absent elsewhere. What America had always had is money, reach, and a machine.
Money, reach, and a machine built to make its image the center of the world. Yes. So the culture of narcissism at the same time, because to be a narcissist, you have to be just like the loudest in the room, right? You gotta fight to have your ego be the brightest to shine. You feel what I'm saying? Shine through everybody. Like your opinion gotta be the one to be listened to, considered, and that's that. You feel what I mean? So y'all came through with that kind of but I ain't gonna lie, bro. That shit obviously that can be seen in certain human characteristics, certain humans, right? The whole narcissism character trait type shit. So with that being said, a whole lot of, you know what I'm saying, a whole lot of the world did resonate with that kind of energy anyway, no matter where they were from. So obviously that's why motherfuckers ended up like just being transformed by this culture that, you know what I'm saying, ended up being the one with the reach, the money, the machinery built to make its image the center of the world, right? So everybody influenced by that kind of reach, everybody that allowed themselves to be transformed by that kind of reach, you know what I'm saying, it had an impact on them, etc. Right? You feel what I'm saying? Even though now, because I'm saying that because now obviously things like the World Wide Web, you know what I'm saying, that has opened up people to be exposed to other cultures of the world, and you know what I'm saying, just more than just like what the West has to offer type shit. So people connect with what they resonate with on that front, you know what I'm saying, and not just what the West has to offer. But I'm just saying that the impact, the influence that your Americas, etc., you know what I'm saying, had on people that still give a fuck about what America has to say, still invested there, whether, you know what I'm saying, attention wise, business wise, social media wise. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's what we're talking about here.
machinery built to make his image the center of the world. And here's the thing, Black Americans who fought to be seen in their country became the global face of blackness. That is a remarkable achievement. It was also made possible by the same system that excluded everyone else. Now, Africans, Caribbeans, and Afro-Latins tell their stories without making room for American centrality. Absence is noticed. We grew up watching you did not grow up watching us. And now the internet has leveled the ground just enough for others to speak without hesitation. Tyler's words land differently because the world no longer accepts America as the only arbiter of meaning. So kind of going back to what I said, that fan said a lot, and it's kind of interesting. Let me know what y'all think about it. But it wasn't just fans, you know, defending Tyler either. Cardi B would also come out and give some insight, which people kind of side-eye because these are black problems. And you know, Cardi B ain't that. People was like, why are you speaking on this? But Cardi B did still speak on it, and it's important to the conversation. You know, a celebrity was defending Tyler during all of this hate, so I gotta speak on it. This is what Cardi B would say. People been dragging Tyler, and it's like this girl don't even address nothing, talk, or anything. I'm starting to feel like people just don't like celebrities. It's like the only way that people like celebrities is if you don't say anything at all, and they beat your energy and they beat your confidence, they beat you to the ground. That controversy was really confusing to me. I understand both sides of the story, but I was left asking, okay, what do I do now? When who you are is challenged, especially when it's all you've ever known, it shakes you. You want to stand your ground, because if you don't, someone else will come and define it for you.
I'm American. I lived in South Africa for the first half of 2016 and the latter half of 2017. And here's what everybody's getting wrong about Tyler. Colored in one place and black in another place. She's not, you know, she's colored. Important distinction to make, because being colored in South Africa versus being black in South Africa have two vastly different implications as to what outcomes to expect out of life. And it's specifically due to skin color or race. So basically the difference between America and South Africa in terms of race is, unlike in America, which had the one drop rule, meaning any amount of African made you black, in South Africa there was a separate racial classification made for mixed people. With the exception of Cape Malay people, most colored people are some sort of mix of various, you know, corners of the globe that had migrated to South Africa during the pre-colonial periods, plus like native Khoi and San people in South Africa, plus like some kind of African, some kind of Xhosa, some kind of Zulu, or the other southern ethnic African groups that was like down there. A lot of people like to equate colored people in South Africa with like Creole people in the United States, and that's not what it is. Colored people are more like Latino people, specifically kind of like Dominicans. Whereas like they're mixed with previous colonial powers.
This is the official
and,
greeting.
You know, another set of like almost like Asiatic, some sort of people. And then a mix of like a little bit of African, but the dominant culture, the way that they constructed race at the time, stigmatized the African presence within the person.
While I post my shit up, right? Good to see y'all, bro. I'm saying, got energy levels is good. You feel me? Health levels. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what you need as a human being, bro. You feel what I'm saying? That's what you need, bro. Because being misunderstood, that takes a whole lot of pressure. Imagine being misunderstood in terms of like the race. You know what I'm saying? The race discussions and the race chats of like the area that you come from. You know what I'm saying? Being misunderstood there. Now you gotta explain yourself like a bunch when it comes to that. You feel what I'm saying? Bro, whose fault is it that you was born where you was born? You feel me? Ooh, you ain't chose that, right? It ain't your fault that the way that they perceive shit is different from how you came up perceiving shit. You feel what I'm saying? So, hey man, don't mind me fake yapping and shit like that. I'm just like trying to, you know, I ain't organized my shit today, man. So you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and leave it. You know what I'm saying? Put it up in y'all face too, so that it's awkward for both of us. But anyway, nah, I just zoomed in just to greet you, man. To get up all in your grill, just to see how you was feeling today, bro. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna go ahead and break this down too. Who's my boy right here again, man? Who's this? Love Hilal. Yeah, my bad, bro. Oh, some financial education. Let's get into it. Not a B side, it's an A side. So you know, we big on education this side. The 7 money habits keeping Americans poor. Ooh, okay. What else can we get into, man? Why it sucks living in South Africa. I literally gotta see this. You know what I'm saying? I literally gotta. Hey, yo, I seen like a video on my pops right quick. Custom made New York City tours. Oh shit, from window cleaning business. Wait, from window cleaning business to tour guide business. Nah, this has to be inspirational, bro. At least for like a person or two. At least. Like, you know what I'm saying? That sounds good right there. About to chop that up. Diabolical story of Aaron the plumber. I ain't gonna lie, there's some B-side shit. Feel me? There's some B-side shit. Nah, but we finna chop it up though. I ain't gonna lie, we chopping everything up here, bro. Everything getting eaten, boy. Alright, pause. But you know what I'm saying? Everything getting dissected. We breaking down all these things. Lil Daddy. Hey, yo, this Lil Daddy storyline is interesting. I'm wondering now, is it something that Adult Swim just made as just a character, or is Lil Daddy a derivative of like a real life character that, you know what I'm saying, that looks as weird and, you know what I'm saying, has energy as weird as this character, this cartoon character right here, Lil Daddy. What is Act On today? Bloodhound Q50. Gang shit, hold on. I mean, that's some B-side shit. Right side, 50 riddles though. I don't think we about to finish this, but shit, why not? I'm saying, alright, cool. I think we've playlisted enough shit. I mean, let's get to it. Oh shit, we already chopped up gooning culture though. See what I'm saying? I ain't even organized my shit. Alright, cool. Let me see this. Lil Daddy. Fuck. Wasn't Lincoln? Oh, the real reason why slavery died?
This could probably go without saying, but being a slave would have been a really, really bad way to spend your life. But being a slave owner? Well, that doesn't seem like the worst gig in the world. And on a broader level, countries built their economies on slavery. So why did they give it up? I mean, it sounds like it should have been an obvious answer, because it was evil or because people got nicer. But those simple answers don't hold up. Slavery was part of humanity for at least 10,000 years, probably more, and in virtually every part of the world. The Greeks did it, the Romans did it, the Chinese, the Arabs, the Africans, even Catholic popes had slaves. And at least one had actually been a slave. Virtually every society on Earth had some form of slavery.
Yeah, I feel like I already have the answer as to like, well, I feel like this whole narrative, bro, of like slavery, I kind of have my own theory. I'm gonna break it down at the end of this video because I want kind of like one Unc right here to explain like what it is that he's on about right here. So that, you know what I'm saying, I see whether I'm off in terms of my POV with this whole thing, right?
And nobody seemed to think twice about it until suddenly they did. And then, in about 150 years, it all collapsed. I'm Ken LaCourte, and I try to answer questions that make some people squirm. And today's elephant in the room: why did humanity abolish slavery? It didn't magically become unprofitable. Slaves didn't all escape, and the moral arguments had existed for centuries without much effect. And there wasn't one hero who convinced everyone of its evil, although no human being on Earth did more to abolish slavery than this guy, and virtually no one knows his name. So we'll first look at religion and morality, because after thousands of years, they did play a role. And then we'll look at how modern slave rebellions changed the cost-benefit analysis, and how all of it changed the economics of slavery. And finally, we'll take a look at one country's crusade that brought slavery to a much quicker end, and how that country was influenced by a single viral image. Okay, so for most of history, religion and morality were used to justify slavery, not challenge it. And why not? The Old Testament includes rules for how to treat slaves. Jesus never condemned it. Paul told slaves to obey their masters. The Quran regulates ownership and doesn't ban it either. In the ancient world, faith and slavery went hand in hand. It was simply accepted, part of the natural order woven into...
And I feel like that's because maybe the slave perception towards the master had to resemble, you know what I'm saying, God to worshiper. You feel me? Jesus to the follower.
Both scripture and society.
So everything had to like move parallel so that everything makes sense in the world at the time, I feel like.
The earliest moral and legal codes often priced people by rank. Accidentally kill a noble, pay gold. Kill a slave, pay a whole lot less. Worth was pegged to a class or a clan. But things started to change in the Enlightenment age. In the late 1600s, intellectuals like John Locke and Voltaire, they laid the groundwork for ideas of liberty, natural rights, and universal reason. Now, these concepts challenged established hierarchies, but even still, most of these early figures, they still either completely ignored slavery or they made exceptions for it. Heck, Locke even invested in slave trading companies while writing about freedom. But Enlightenment reshaped how religion was understood and practiced. It gave rise to a more personal, conscience-driven morality. And importantly, it reinforced the idea that political institutions should align with moral law. Around the same time, long before slavery became national debate.
Enlightenment. See, when we talk about enlightenment, we talk about, you know what I'm saying, just being conscious of some shit, right? Being aware of like what's really going on, right? Enlightenment, being enlightened. That light bulb moment, you know what I'm saying, coming on and shit like that. So I feel like what's the difference between then and right now? Because even now it's like, yo, information age. Feel me? And I feel like it's only information age. Oh, okay. According to my ignorant POV, it's only the information age because of like technological advancement, right? So we can get to a whole lot more information, a whole lot more reality. You feel? Ooh, but with the AI though, reality about to get a whole lot foggier. But I'm just saying, like, we have access to all of this shit. But I feel like with the Enlightenment era, somehow the information was getting to the people. Somehow the enlightenment, the awareness of some shit. But you see, that was just, you know, that I feel like that would just happen through the chosen few, the chosen leaders. That would be, so you know what I'm saying? So since information could only come through, you know, a Moses, you feel what I'm saying? A prophet of the day, a leader of the day, you know what I'm saying? A politician of the day, some sort of, you know what I'm saying? The pastor or whatever of the day, you feel me? But then now that would depend on whether the information that they choose to deliver, do they deliver it genuinely or on some manipulation type, control, mind control type, right?
Debates, Quakers were already breaking ranks. They banned owning slaves within their communities. They published tracts and letters condemning it, and they made it theological, not just economic.
I feel like these were the individuals that were like trying to be on some like damage control, so that they have like the PR of the clean intention. You know what I'm saying? So that the people select them. You know what I mean? So it's basically the classic case of like, yo, somebody trying to do shit in a different way. Well, the same shit, but in a different way, so that they like come up top. You feel me? Some comp vibe. I feel it though. Competition energies. You know what I'm saying?
Political. Still, for a long time, they were the religious exception. Even in the United States, where many churches condemned cruelty,
this is when religion
few challenged the institution itself.
Religion
Again, the Bible had passages that could be viewed either way, so slaveholders used them to defend the status quo. But then came evangelical revival. The 1700s saw a surge of emotional, populist Christianity, what historians call the Great Awakening. It didn't just change how people worshipped, it changed what they believed they were supposed to do. Suddenly, personal salvation came with a sense of duty. If your soul had been awakened by God, you couldn't just sit still, you had to act. In America, many Northern abolitionists were products of that movement, and they took it as their duty to fight. That theological divide split national churches down the middle. Baptists, Methodists, Presbyterians, they all fractured into Northern and Southern denominations, often over slavery alone. What's striking?
And the religious industry was the big industry. It was like the It was like the social media industries today, right? Or the you feel me? The technology, the fourth industrial revolution type movement type industry.
Striking is that this moral turnaround happened quickly in historical terms.
Big industry.
Just a few decades earlier, most churches were either silent on slavery or totally complicit. Now they were sending missionaries
money through mind control to
preach against it, organizing boycotts and circulating petitions with tens of thousands of signatures. Western Christian nations really led the way on this, but they don't necessarily get a great big gold star. These were the same societies that had trafficked millions of people for centuries. But Western Christianity was the first religion to mobilize a sustained activism that eventually forced other societies around the world to follow suit. But slaves played a role in their freedom as well. Rebellions were large and small, and slaves fought back constantly. And that resistance chipped away at the institution from the inside. Some of it was dramatic and violent. Some of it was quieter. But it all had a cost. And over time, that cost helped make slavery harder to defend, harder to enforce, and harder to afford. Let's start with the big one, the Haitian Revolution. In 1791, nearly 500,000 slaves rose up against French rule. It quickly became war, a brutal 13-year fight that destroyed plantations, decimated French forces, and ended with the creation of Haiti, the first black republic in the Western Hemisphere. Now, Haiti wasn't just a colony, it was the colony, the richest sugar-producing territory on Earth. And to put it in perspective, at its peak, it generated more revenue than all 13 American colonies combined.
For real?
And then it was gone. And that sent shockwaves through the whole slave-owning world. And Haiti wasn't an isolated case. 40 years later, in Jamaica, 60,000 slaves sparked an uprising known as the Baptist War. It only lasted 10 days before British troops crushed it, but that rattled Parliament. And just a year later, Britain passed the Slavery Abolition Act, freeing nearly 1 million slaves across the empire. Mass revolts like this weren't common, but when they happened, they hit hard. They shattered the myth that slavery was stable. They scared investors, and they forced political hands. But slave revolts are as old as slavery itself. The Spartacus Rebellion in 73 BC terrified Rome. So slaves have always resisted. Why did it now seem to matter in the 18th and 19th centuries? The biggest difference? Scale. The Europeans had taken slavery, and they really...
I feel like it just didn't feel right. It was at a point where, yo, y'all niggas are just wigging too hard with this. Y'all fighting now.
Industrialized.
Y'all really just want to fucking destroy humanity at this point.
By the 1700s, it had moved from household or urban labor to mass-scale plantations, especially in the Caribbean and the American South. That created dense, majority slave population areas, and they were harder to control. And the stakes were higher as well. Cotton, sugar, tobacco exports. These were huge parts of nations' GDPs. A successful revolt didn't just burn a few crops, it could affect a country's entire economy. After the Haitian Revolution, French investors had lost millions, and people noticed. Importantly, these were also happening at the same time that new morality was taking hold, and a single rebellion could help shift public opinion and government action. But full-scale revolts weren't the only threat. Every day across the American South and beyond, slaves resisted in quieter, harder to track ways. They worked slower, broke tools, faked illness, and thousands escaped entirely.
Oh shit, the awakening age, right? The enlightenment age. Like people were just like waking up, bro, within their own conscience. You know what I'm saying? Within their own consciousness. You feel me? And then it was like, y'all, nah, dog, this is crazy. I'm talking about at a collective level, realizing this and coming up with ways. So basically, I mean, developing their ways of just like, I don't know how diplomatic it was, how they, you know what I'm saying, ended up crashing out back at the system, you feel me? How they raged back at the system on some shit.
When they did, they didn't just disappear. They became part of a network, the Underground Railroad. That was an
Underground Railroad. I feel like that may have been their attempt of like fighting back diplomatically type shit, right?
Informal system of routes and safe houses and secret supporters stretching from the south to the north, sometimes into Canada. It helped thousands of people reach freedom, and it made slave owners paranoid because every escape came with a cost. lost labor, lost capital. It forced owners to invest in tracking them down with rewards and bounty hunters. All of it added up. And the broader security cost was even worse. Southern states poured money into slave patrols, militias, and night riders, charging them with stopping runaways and putting down rebellions before they started. In some places, every adult white male was legally required to serve in a patrol, and large budgets were devoted to it. And the more violent the enforcement became, the more resistance it...
So things like revolutions bring opportunities for employment. Because, you know what I'm saying? That's like employment. That's like... What? Am I looking at it the wrong way? Because, like, bro, imagine, like, the people that were not, like... if you like the business and investors, you know what I'm saying? Business in the sense of, like, being part of the percentage of white people that owns a bunch of slaves, and you know what I'm saying, and got this whole thing, and then obviously the revolution happens, and then you know what I'm saying, that nigga's slaves is gone. Now he needs the help of the next door neighbor who wasn't really into the whole thing. He, you know what I'm saying, he was dependent on the fact that he was dependent on family members who did have slaves or whatever the case. Now, you know what I'm saying, I'll pay him to go find my nigga, you know what I'm saying, my niggas with the hard R type shit. Alright, let me not say, you know what I'm saying? But yo, yeah, go find my neighbors. Go find my slave. You feel me? Opportunity for employment. Now that nigga got a job to do, like, you know, I'm paying his ass like type shit.
Sparked in return. It all gradually shifted the equation. What had once been an efficient labor system became a security headache. Now, look, resistance alone didn't bring down slavery, but it made it less sustainable and less stable and less profitable. The truth is, pretty much no economic model, no matter how profitable it is, can survive when it needs to be defended at gunpoint 24/7. And in the end, the system really collapsed when it stopped making financial sense. For centuries, slave labor was the backbone of global wealth. Ancient Rome ran on it, and China, and the Arab caliphates, and the Ottoman Empire, and nearly every colonial power. America's cotton and sugar empires were just the modern face of something that existed pretty much forever. Slaves didn't need wages, and they couldn't walk off the job. The model was horrifying, but it was efficient. And as long as the economics work, nobody at the top has much incentive to change it. But eventually, that math stopped working. In 1776, the same year the American colonies declared independence, Adam Smith published The Wealth of Nations, a groundbreaking understanding of national economics. In that book, Smith wrote, "The work done by free men comes cheaper in the end than that performed by slaves."
Oh
that
my
wasn't
God, now it was a matter of psychological. Yo, let's, you know what I'm saying? Let's let them serve under the guise of freedom. They free people. You know what I'm saying? I feel like freedom was the next official chain. Freedom was the next official chain that enslaved, you know what I'm saying, the peoples.
Moral claim.
Folks, man.
But a cost analysis.
The perception of freedom, how they cooked freedom to look in the minds of people.
Smith argued that slave labor seems cheap up front, but it's inefficient, inflexible, and expensive to maintain. You had to first buy a person, then house them, clothe them, feed them, and guard them. And slave labor was fixed. You owned a person whether or not they were productive.
So all these things is like whether or not shit makes business sense or not. That's free.
Or if cotton prices dropped, or if the overall marketplace changed somehow. On the other hand, hired labor is plug and play. Workers move to where jobs are. They can learn new skills more easily. They can be hired and fired on demand. This was especially true as the Industrial Revolution changed how people work. Paid labor became cheaper. And we saw this on a macro scale as well.
Paid labor became cheaper because now you got a reason to be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Go establish your own, like, home, bro. Go build your own roof because I pay you to be able to. You know what I'm saying? So I don't gotta house you. I don't gotta feed you. All I gotta do is just pay you a percentage of some shit of the total amount that I'm making through using you, and then, we good.
When Britain abolished slavery, that didn't trigger some economic meltdown. The British government paid former slave owners millions in compensation, equal to about 40% of the national budget. It was one of the largest wealth transfers in British history. But despite the payout, and despite losing access to free labor across the empire, Britain's GDP surged. So did exports, investment, and industrial output. The American South fought to keep slavery, but the North had already moved far past them, building factories, canals, and a growing urban workforce. The Northern economy didn't need to own people. It just needed to rent their time. And that made it faster, leaner, and more adaptive than the plantation system. In the years after the U.S. Civil War, the national economy surged, and the country entered one of the biggest growth periods in its history. And the South still lags behind. Look at Brazil, which was the last major country in the Western Hemisphere to abolish slavery. When it did, it was already falling behind and had never fully industrialized during the 1800s. Its economy stayed tied to agriculture. It preserved slavery at the cost of modernization, and it paid the price. Eventually, even slave owners saw the writing on the wall. Slavery wasn't just morally indefensible, but it was becoming morally obsolete. But we have to be careful in thinking of the economics of slavery as a standalone factor. It's where the rubber meets the road, but it's also intertwined with everything else. It's like asking why a restaurant failed and being told that it ran out of money. I mean, yes, but you can't separate that from the food being bad or a location being a problem. Still, there's a bit of an uncomfortable truth that the system didn't die just because we became better people. It officially died because it lost a competition. Paid labor beat slave labor. And once the numbers changed, the more...
So it's all a business. Oh my God, dog. Yo, the fabric of human nature, dog, is built off of business principle, dog. What the fuck is... What are we realizing
arguments
here,
started
dog?
winning. In the same vein...
Oh. And I hate admitting this, but I keep saying it, bro. Money is G-O-D. Bro, come on. Let's be real. Money is G-O-D. That's a fact. And because, you know what I'm saying, when we talking money, we talking something that, you know what I'm saying, something that manifests, especially when it comes to the continued manifestation of money. We need business principles, you know what I'm saying, in terms of doing it legally. Feel me? In terms of like having or producing income in terms of financial material, you feel me? Or financial flow of things. It's like we need business. We need business to operate so that that can happen, so that that can be our experience, right? So if money is G-O-D, dog, we need to keep it the highest like thing that people would fucking kill for, you know what I'm saying? Murder for, you know what I'm saying? Everybody would do anything, bro. You like enslave the whole, bro. You have to exhibit, like, in my opinion, you gotta exhibit some sort of like psychopathic antisocial tendencies, dog, to be somebody to be like, nah, I don't give a fuck about what goes on in this human being's life, bro. You know what I'm saying? The difference between them being the type of slave that you took care of, because obviously there's a bright side to that, there's like a dope side to that the slave can like latch onto on some, nah, at least master giving me roof over my head, at least master giving, you know what I'm saying, all this clothes to wear and all, you know what I'm saying, and you know what I mean, like all this protection, all that. You know what I'm saying? The difference between that and now telling the slave, oh, now you're free, you know what I'm saying, was business sense. It just didn't make business sense to keep this nigga in here now, you know what I'm saying? And then now you dissect, you know what I'm saying, having a free slave, you feel me? Somebody that you can just like pay a salary, have them believe that they free, they can go do whatever they need to do, establish their own family, you feel me, in the way that they can out there, versus being my slave in my yard and in my fields. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, now look at that whole thing that I just broke down from the slave's point of view. This nigga tell himself, oh man, you know what I'm saying, bless God, yo, this God that I always had faith in just changed my life. No, what changed your life is your master's decision to be like, no, you know what, I want to compete in making this money like more efficiently. The fabric of human, you know what I'm saying, development, bro, is all a business plan. That's crazy. Okay, I don't know, maybe a whole bunch of y'all have been like tapped into this type of revelation, bro. Like, I'm today years old, like just piecing this together, but yo, that's so deep, bro. That's so deep, bro. I don't know how to feel about humanity going forward, bro. I Can't lie to you.
We can't minimize the moral stances.
Damn.
Look at the United States. No other country ended slavery the way America did, by killing each other by the thousands. About 600,000 people died in the Civil War. That's roughly equal to every other American war in history combined. Entire cities were leveled. And underneath it all was a fight over slavery. Now, I know that there are some who say that the war was fought over economics or other reasons, but it's just historically wrong. The South fought to preserve slavery, and the North fought to keep the country together without it. Every other rationale was downstream of that reality. And in America, Abraham Lincoln is known by everyone for being the pivotal man to make that happen. But worldwide, no human being deserves more credit for ending global slavery than a man I'm kind of ashamed to admit that I hadn't heard of before, William Wilberforce. He was a short, sickly British politician who spent 20 years hammering Parliament to end the slave trade. Every year he introduced a bill to abolish it, and every year it failed. But he kept going and organized and led boycotts. He changed...
To abolish it for what? You know what I'm saying? For his business interests?
The political culture of the most powerful empire on earth. When slavery was officially...
Maximum output, minimum... No. Minimum output, maximum input.
Outlawed across the British Empire in 1833, Wilberforce died 3 days later. He didn't free every slave, but he shifted the global norm. What had been a near universal institution became, for the first time in history, morally radioactive. And one early tool he used was essentially a viral image. Abolitionists had printed a cutaway drawing of the slave ship Brooks, a simple black and white engraving showing 454 enslaved Africans packed below deck like cargo, row after row of bodies laid out in perfect, horrifying symmetry.
Yo.
It was distributed in pamphlets, newspapers, and passed around homes and churches across the country. For the first time, ordinary Britons could see what the Atlantic slave trade looked like in brutal detail. And it worked. Within months, Parliament received Britain's first mass petition against the trade. Over 100,000 people signed it, a huge amount of people for that era. It helped abolition become a political movement. And when that movement became law, Britain implemented its new crusade around the world with force. Now, before completely banning slavery, Parliament first passed the Slave Trade Act, banning the buying and selling of slaves across the British Empire. British ships could no longer transport slaves, and British merchants could no longer profit from it. It struck a serious blow to the transatlantic slave trade. And the Royal Navy launched the West Africa Squadron, a permanent patrol mission designed to hunt down illegal slave ships along the African coast. For nearly 60 years, the squadron chased smugglers, boarded vessels, and liberated captured Africans mid-journey. It wasn't easy. Slave ships were fast, and the West African coastline is massive. But over that time, they seized over 1,600 slave ships and freed more than 150,000 Africans. In the process, about 1,500 British soldiers died. And it wasn't cheap either. At times, the squadron absorbed up to half of the entire Royal Navy's operating budget. So at the height of its global power, Britain, an empire built on maritime supremacy, devoted half its naval resources to stopping the very trade it had once run. Now, they had some self-interest going on here as well, because abolition didn't just clear Britain's conscience, it also extended its influence. By patrolling African waters, Britain strengthened its naval dominance in the Atlantic. It countered French, Spanish, and Portuguese rivals, and it built diplomatic leverage over other nations. Here's an example of how it worked. In the mid-1800s, Cuba and Brazil were still major slave economies, but their lifelines depended on transatlantic imports, and Britain was choking off that supply. The Navy captured slave ships bound for both, and British diplomats pressured both governments. Eventually, both nations caved. Now, would that have happened without British pressure? Yes, but likely years later. Abolition in Latin America didn't spring from mass revolts or internal religious campaigns. It came from external force, and that force came from Britain. Again, Britain's leadership on abolition wasn't purely altruistic, but when morality, money, and muscle aligned, it was effective. By the mid-1800s, the same system that had once seemed eternal was suddenly under siege, militarily, diplomatically, and morally. By 1900, legal slavery had disappeared from almost every modern country. But it didn't disappear everywhere. In fact, Mauritania didn't officially outlaw slavery until 1981 and didn't criminalize it until 2007. And there are good reasons to believe it still exists in reality. So yes, Britain profited hugely from slavery, but more than any...
That's what I actually wanted to just touch on real quick. when I was talking about like at the end of the video and whatnot. Look, quick question. Look, I see the title of the video right here, right? The real reason slavery died. I feel like, yo, let's be clear on some shit. You feel what I'm saying? Especially if you have a mind that functions, a mind that is normally healthy. You know what I'm saying? Healthy. You feel me? Like a hygienically. I'm cooking. A hygienically clean mind that's not contaminated by whatever, you know what I'm saying, mainstream propaganda or weak ass narratives, you know what I'm saying, would have you believe. Quick question. The title of the video is like, yo, the real reason why slavery died. Did it die? That's my quick question. Did it really die? I feel like, yo, as a concept or as a as law, you feel me, like as like political law and shit like that, yes, it may have like, you know what I'm saying, been done away with in some sense, but as like reality to some extent, to certain extents of reality, you know what I'm saying, in the sense of reality, has slavery really died? Nah, it just took forms in other ways, bro. You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. It's like, you feel, it's like now, really, even the whole 9-to-5 type shit, like grinding like that, like needing people to come and help you, like with your whole vision, you know what I'm saying, while compensating them for like compromising on theirs, you feel me, just to like help you out. But you know what I'm saying, people build visions off of helping other people, you know what I'm saying, build their visions or visions that they've already established, of which I feel like today, like now if we look at it in that sense, you know what I'm saying, it's God at work. It's the work of God. It's like, you feel me? But somebody would like really, I feel like somebody who was created, was designed to have their own thing going, to have their own vision flowing. You feel me? You deserve to be the you feel me, like the neighbor that has the people to help you build your vision. Because I ain't gonna lie, I'm not all the way ignorant, bro. Don't see me wearing all goofy shit. You know what I'm saying? You see, it's all cobwebs. You know what I'm saying? It's all echoes when I be talking out here. You know what I'm saying? We gonna be cool though one day though, but it's like, bro, I be cooking sometimes. You feel me? Don't see all this and think, you know what I'm saying, I'm all the way ignorant. Look, I do believe there are people that know that they are born to serve other people. You feel me? And that is okay, all the way okay. We can't all be billionaires. That's number one, impossible. Number two, obviously it's reality that not everybody wants to have every fucking thing. You feel me? So it's like, in terms of money and material, you feel me? Some people are just like good with serving others, and that literally, it leaves them fuzzy inside. It gives them purpose. It gives them a reason to keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? So in that sense, it's like, yes, that's why it keeps happening. But now you get people that like, bro, I'm talking about when it happens at a level where the top 1% of earners, or the top 1% of attainers of the material reality. You feel me? Like somebody like the Gates family, for example. You know what I'm saying? For instance, the Gates family pulling up on some, yo, we have this new contraceptive that's gonna like prevent child pregnancy for the next 8 years. You feel me? So now we're promoting like, y'all females can go crazy, dog. Y'all can be sexually liberated, and you know what I'm saying? We're for that. We're for you. It's like, bro, at that point, like, what the fuck is we doing, bro? You feel what I'm saying? You become some sort of slave, because not some sort of slave master in a new form. You feel me? Because now somebody's literally willing to be on your dick. You know what I'm saying? Because of what you can offer them. I feel like just that as a seed, just that in itself, somebody willing to discard parts of themselves just to you know, help you fulfill your desires and your wishes while compromising their own shit that they got going. That's where slavery is. And I feel like taking advantage of that is where it all starts. Because, you know what I'm saying, I actually wanted to make a point about like new age colonialism. You feel me? Because in the Window 39, bro, I shared that shit. You feel me? And that colonialism, that new age, new form of colonialism is the new form of slavery. what I'm saying? Do your homework. Check out S1W39, the B-side. You know what I'm saying? To see that shit. I spoke about the Gates people. Feel me? So yeah, just to, you feel me? It's just a new form of this shit, dog. It's nothing to it really. Now I don't know how y'all feel about that shit. Y'all go ahead, leave y'all comments and all that, you know?
And slavery just couldn't keep up. Reason and faith reframed the entire picture. Resistance rose and profits shrank. And Britain, of all nations, threw its weight behind a global rule change. All of that made slavery unprofitable on multiple levels, and the system broke. Some scientists say the same thing is happening with humanity at large, and that we're headed for extinction. Now, I'm not sure if I buy that, but the whole population crisis that I heard about all of my life, that's not happening anymore. The world will soon be losing people, and for some countries, like South Korea, it's a serious problem that they don't know how to solve.
South Korea is
it's worth a
losing
look.
people?
Hey, thanks for watching. If you made it this far, I think you're in the right place, and I hope you come back.
What's going on with Asians, bro? I'm not gonna lie, bro. People out there are going through it, you feel me? And like, speaking of Asians, bro.
There's this perception they're growing.
Speaking of Asians, this nigga looks Asian, right? A little bit.
Sentiment that Japan is just a
Looks kind of blazing. I don't know. But the boy over here, man, talking about Japan is the most. I'll see the title, man. Let's get into it.
Perfect country. Everything is great. There's this perception or growing sentiment that Japan is just a perfect country. Everything is great, no issues. And
I really thought, I literally thought the same thing. I wanted to just tour Japan just to feel safe for, you know what I'm saying, for a couple days or however long I'll be like visiting Japan. Because I literally think like, I don't know, man.
Especially not racism.
This nigga about to burst my bubble on some shit.
And I feel like this reputation really stemmed from those weebs, you know, the anime fans who think, oh, everything, you know, kawaii, ooh, whatever the hell. But even in,
so you telling me, oh my
in
God.
anime, bro. Have you seen the way some of these black characters are animated, bro? And some of the people will say, oh, it's not racist, you know, that's just the art style. Or they don't have black people over there. They don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, bro. They have the internet. Internet is free. And by the way, your boy, 50% Japanese, 50% black.
Oh, knew it. My boy blazing. I knew it. I called it. Yeah, bro, bro, I don't even think you had to like come up with it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's obvious. You feel it's clear, bro. Gotcha, buddy.
But the thing is, it's not just anime. Hold on. It's also people in real life. There are real clips.
Are Japan a racist country?
Definitely, yeah.
Too many blacks in Japan lately.
Now, the other day I seen this clip right here, which really inspired me to make this video because
too many blacks in Japan lately. That guy
what
was
the
AI,
actual
bro.
hell? I guess.
Definitely, yeah.
Looks like
too many blacks in Japan lately.
Now, the other day I seen this clip right here, which really inspired me to make this video because what the actual hell? I guess they have signs that look like this. No circus performance here, bro. Are we monkeys or something? Basically, I came across this video from a guy who went to Japan and he saw this in the store. Black babies that you can buy for
They're selling black babies.
Yeah.
And I started that machine for
black
about
babies. But why the fuck is your frame where I'm at? Blazing, brother, you know what I'm saying? Wait, how do you pronounce your name though? Halil. Oh, Halil? Is it Halil? Hello.
15 minutes before I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna get one.
And you decided to buy one, bro? This gotta be some type of, I don't know what it is. It's gotta be something. I'm gonna find a way to get you canceled, bro. I don't know. This has gotta be cultural, blackface, appropriation, something. Some type of violation of some type of African-American law, bro.
Now, to be 100% honest, the reason why I got Black Baby here was because, well,
they even call it Black Baby.
It's
I want
black.
to have kids someday.
What?
And I thought this
With
became
the black
part of
person?
this. So like any good father would, I showed him a lot of love. Black Baby here is a racist caricature of black people.
Nah, Doug, but like sometimes we gotta like realize like, you know, the trolling lore of like just content creators, bro. You see this nigga is looking at a camera saying all this shit, you know what I'm saying? Looking into a camera saying all this shit. There's clicks, there's views, there's all these things that he can farm. You feel me? Come on.
Frankly, I couldn't believe it. Because one, Black Baby here isn't actually black, but a tan baby. per the translation.
You see, it looks fried too. Look at his eyes.
These lips.
Is a racist caricature of black people.
Oh shit, it's Japanese.
And frankly, I couldn't believe.
Nah, this guy looks fried, bro. Nah, hold on. Pause, extra pause on what I'm doing, bro. Zooming on another man's. Look. Man, come on. Looks fried, bro. Don't trip.
Because one, black baby here isn't actually black,
here.
but a tan baby per the translation.
You see these lips? This is not no Asian feature, bro. They're drawing them specifically to look like this, to specifically symbolize that they're black. They're not tan, bro. People try to excuse this behavior just because it's Japan, bro. When, let's be real, which, oh, by the way, me being half Japanese doesn't really absolve me from anything, because if you look at half Japanese people, often talk about the racist experiences they grew up in, living in Japan.
A next door neighbor, they used to think like I was a drug dealer. Like they've said things like you look like a mafia.
Plus you're born and raised here, but you still...
Even in Japan, they got these stereotypical perceptions. You look like a drug dealer. Nah, you see, that's what I was saying, like in the beginning of the stream, or somewhere earlier in the stream, bro. I was like, yo, the whole you know, the stereotype that the West came with, bro. This is a stereotype that the West came with, bro. You know what I'm saying? Especially the West, you know, influencing the world that it. In the way that it ended up influencing the world. I'm talking about your Americans and shit like that, right? Their movies, their media, just being all up in our faces and shit like that. I feel like even like the Japanese, and not even Japanese, and Asians and Eastern parts of the world, like everywhere, bro, across the world, bro. It's like when we see these stereotypes being played out through the media and what the media, you know what I'm saying, supplied to everyone else, it's like, everybody takes that stereotype like seriously, bro. What the fuck? You in Japan, bro? What the fuck? Honestly, besides the Yakuza, am I allowed to say that word, that name out loud? Besides that, you know what I'm saying, gang activity and shit like that, like the Yakuza, it's like I ain't heard of no other gang situations in Japan. I feel like the Yakuza situation helped me to realize the fact that yes, there are gang situations even in, or gang activity, even in places like Japan. But bro, you know what I'm saying? But then again, bro, I'm fucking, like, I don't know, bro. You know what I'm saying? I ain't traveled enough. I feel like I want to travel enough just to gather information for myself. You feel me? Just to share with y'all, share with the POV on some authentic vibes. Because some other people may just like be uploading shit for, you know, clicks, views. You know, motherfuckers be farming, and they might not be sharing real shit about like certain environments across the world. You feel me? So now with that being said, you know what I'm saying? I don't know the scale of gang activity in Japan, but we don't know about that shit. But now, this nigga, you know what I'm saying? The Blasian nigga let me stop saying that. The black Asian nigga, human being, neighbor, right? In that previous clip. Hold on, let me rewind.
People often talk about the racist experiences.
He was like, yo, his neighbor was like, thought that selling drugs. No, that perception came from like the American shit that, you know what I'm saying? Niggas was like consuming and shit like that. You feel me? Like the Fridays and, you know, the movies and, you know, these kind of stereotypical movies that are supposed to like paint this picture of the black person. And I feel like that effect bled across the world, bro. That's so interesting to realize. I ain't gonna lie.
They grew up in,
Listen
living in Japan.
A next door neighbor, they used to think like I was a drug dealer. Like they've said things like you look like a mafia.
Because you're black. In Japan. In America, I can understand it. In Japan? But what the fuck? Oh, even in Africa, like parts of Africa. That shit, I see that shit. Japan, bro, in the East, dog. What's going on there, nigga?
Born and raised here, but
I feel like that is like, it's only that way, at least in my, like, you know what I'm saying, point of view, because yo, black people in East Asia, I don't know what the fuck the setup is anymore. You feel me? But yeah, it's rare to see black people in that part of the world. That's why I'm like, feel me?
You still feel like an outsider.
Yeah, mentally, definitely, I don't feel like I belong here.
Their experiences aside, I see videos all the time on the streets, you know, people with the, you know, dreads or having afros all of a sudden. I'm like, bro, how did you even manage to get that? And why does it look kind of decent? I ain't gonna lie. Like, but then when they're asked to name a single black person, they start saying things like Lil TJ.
黒人の人3人誰ですか?
Lil TJ. Shout out to Lil TJ, but that should not be the first black person you think of, okay? You sitting there thinking, you skip, I don't know, MLK, Obama, I don't know, LeBron James, me, I don't know, Lil TJ.
Wait, so if they look like this, what is this? No, what does this mean? Right? Because he got the dreads going on, I mean, I'm trying to find out, is this the real texture of his hair? Because I know, like, if, you know, probably a mixed situation can probably, you know, give this kind of situation. Damn. Zoomed out. Right? A mixed situation can give, like, maybe a nappy. This shit don't look all the way nappy-ish. I can't even see it properly. But this right here, you think it's real hair or extensions? Because homie looks like, you know what I'm saying? He looks original Japanese. Shout out my boy Chino. Chino Alpha Wolf, check him out. SSUBB-UPP, tap in. But he looks, you know what I'm saying? He looks purely Asian. Not like mixed. He looks, in terms of the look, my bad, I'm so sorry. Like, this is like just my ignorant POV. Please don't cancel me. But it's like, that may be extensions because if you're pure Asian like that, your hair doesn't have the nappy texture is what I'm trying to say, right?
And then when you're a black person, like full, you know, 100% black person going there to visit or travel or whatever, you might even have a negative experience, you know what I'm saying, as a foreigner.
Living as a POC in Japan, have you experienced any racism? I wouldn't say racism, it's more like you're expected to be this sort of hip-hop-ish, that kind of culture. You better be athletic, you better dance, you better something. That's crazy.
Basically, bro, Japan is not perfect.
That whole Western influence is, I'm telling you, that's what it is.
Like, no, it's not a thing. You know, they're just drawing the characters a certain way.
And you know what's another point of concern for me? This other content creator was breaking some shit down. Fuck, what am I trying to do here, bro? Fuck, I was trying to make this shit. Right? Some other content creator that was not American. I think Blackie Speaks. I think it was a YDR, right? Young Don Reacts reaction video. And he was breaking down a Blackie Speaks video. Yo, Young Don Reacts was going crazy on Blackie. Don Reacts like, yo, you're not even American, bro. Because I think Blackie Speaks was talking about, okay, I can't remember exactly, but I think it was cultural appropriation. That nigga pulled up just money, right? Just like money, like paper money, right? And it was clear that that paper money was not US. Don was like, you're not even American. You breaking down American issues and I was like, yo, what the fuck, bro? Like the Americans have been in the face of the world, right? Whether we liked it or not, because believe it or not, bro, like we've been tapped into this, especially the generation that I came up out of. We've been tapped into the Western cultures since growing up, and the kid growing up doesn't choose whether, no, I want to watch this or I want to listen to that or I want this in terms of, like, you know what I'm saying, what's being advertised. I want this in terms of like the type of clothes that I want to wear now and shit. You know what I'm saying? This is the shit that was in our radio stations. You feel me? Our channels. So, and you know, as a kid growing up, a young person's mind is malleable. It absorbs everything. You feel me? So I don't like blame Blackie Speaks breaking down American culture, like, cause like that's what he's accustomed to, like seeing and shit like that, exposed to and shit like that, right? So even just like having a take of like, how dare you break down American culture? You're not even American. That on its own is super like ignorant, like to a certain extent, right? Consider the fact that, you know what I'm saying, look at what like the impact of America in the world. You feel me? Let's not like deny that. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you can break down shit of like your own environment, but come on, bro. Even there's people who are ambitious, who have a real purpose, even in third world parts of, you know what I'm saying, third world parts of the earth, bro. You feel me? So there's people that would want to participate and compete on platforms like these platforms that we have today, like the YouTubes and the blah blah blahs. You feel what I'm saying? And obviously I see what's going on in America. You feel me? And number one, the market there is mad crazy. You feel me? I see this opportunity of tapping in and just sitting in front of my desktop, breaking down shit and making money for myself so I can have my people good. You tweaking, you think I'm not taking that opportunity, boy. You feel, I don't give a fuck. I'm American, I'm fucking Chinese, nigga. But I'm all the way there in Australia, fucking appropriate nation. Nigga, you gonna have to fucking take me out. Boom. Sound effect, right? Insert sound effect. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, You feel me? It's like, bro, come on, dog. Like, people's like, that's the certain layer of ignorance that I was like pointing out in terms of like, yes, y'all are American, bro. Y'all did have this reach and splash that y'all had in the world. Y'all still have it in a certain, you know what I'm saying, to a certain extent. That's because, bro, look, population size too. Consider shit. Consider a whole lot of things and how the zoning, and, you know what I'm saying, of land and all of that shit, bro. Like, just, I feel like this is where a whole lot of people gotta understand that, you know, human beings, we live, you know, interconnected with one another. Like, whether we like it or not, bro, whether we fuck with one another or not, bro, we're connected, dog. We always will be. And the sooner we accept that shit, the sooner it will make sense why other people from other cultures is like harking in, just like, you know what I'm saying? Doing things like how other cultures is doing things or whatever. And at that point, when that happens, it's an individual thing. Because even, I feel like at that point, cultural boundaries and all of that kind of shit, they get blurred. Racial boundaries, you know what I'm saying? Language boundaries. I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? And to me, if you ask me, it's a beautiful thing, not gonna lie.
It's just the animes, you know, they just don't know any better. That's also something I've noticed, especially in like Asian countries. People will be quick to say, oh, they just don't know any better. Like a Chinese person will go up to, I don't know, IShowSpeed and say, straight up, just say nigga to him.
那个是不太一样啊，那个啥那个。
Nah, bro, I feel like this was just like a word, like, that sounds like nigga, but they be saying it in Japan too, that's crazy.
Saying that word.
Unless that passenger there, unless that nigga that was going with speed was trolling on some shit for real.
That many times, you know the way it sounds.
Nigga. That nigga sound like he said nigga.
So let's be real, there's a stereotype for Asian people.
Nah, that's funny, I ain't gonna lie.
People being extremely smart, and you think for some reason they don't understand that, like, bro, these people know, they know, some of them know, bro. It's okay to say that some people are racist, some people are, bro. No country is 100% perfect and absolved of any issues. And if you're saying that, you are literally meat writing an entire location, a country, a place that, matter of fact, you're probably not even from or have any DNA from. So relax, okay? Weebs. Anime is amazing. I love anime. Anime is great. Chill. But one thing I will say is that I'll never truly know how racist the country is unless I experience it myself. I really gotta go boost on the ground, you know, do some interviews.
I gotta go and experience it myself, nigga. Nigga gotta travel on some shit. I ain't gonna lie. Facts.
Treat me as, you know, a black person or half black person in Japan. Because without that, how can I really speak on racism or societal issues within another location that I've never been? Right. So I guess let's go.
Right. Oh shit, wait for me, buddy. I'm coming.
We good?
Alright, we good. Yeah, we good. Alright, got it. Wait, this nigga really dipping. This nigga left the video, dog, in the middle of the video and literally went to Japan. Filmed it. Bro, Gen Z is wild, bro. I like this shit. I ain't gonna lie. Bro, Gen Z, bro. Y'all different, bro. I fuck with it. Not gonna lie. And it's crazy how Gen Z is just squeezing the meaning of certain like shit out of like its original context. You feel me? Out of its original meaning. Because now I'm talking about like that nigga that was with Speed talking about nigga. You feel me? That shit like, and how it happened with Speed, it's like funny. You feel me? So instead of being offensive, I feel like now like it's at least the intention. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, just laugh at this shit. It's ridiculous. Until it really gets serious. Of which, you know what I'm saying? Hold on. What the fuck? There's Quantum's there. I saw a Quantum in Japan. Hold on. Bro, this nigga is sitting in the Quantum. Hold on. I know there's Quantums in this bitch. Hold on. Peasy. Jeez, boy. Y'all got these? Hey. Hey. Oh, shit. Japan's a third world country, right? What the fuck? Why am I going crazy? Yeah. The thing is, man, you say Japan. You know what I'm saying? Only this. Bro, I'm thinking South Africa. That's where my mind ends, bro. That's where beginning ends, bro. Yo, these bodegas, even they look like, man, the shit that I feel like Japan, like being in Japan, like low-key, like kind of like South Africa. Hey, but South Africa is, nah, bro. South Africa? Nah, that's why I'm like, yo, I really gotta travel and go see these spots, dog. Because like, just like Jay, seeing the shit aesthetically, it's giving me that vibe.
We are here officially in the streets of Tokyo, Japan. You see it, you see it. If I drop my camera out of this balcony, this is like $1,000 loss. All jokes aside, I'm really here on.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, but just like by what I see, I feel like being in Japan is being, you know, in South Africa on some shit.
International business, you know, trying to create relations and ties from country to country. Is this a tourist-friendly spot for black people? And there are a few different ways I can go about conducting my IRL research based on the studies I did. I feel like the most effective way people tend to call out racism here is like the stares, maybe some comments, and people avoiding you in public spaces like trains, buses. You get the point. Now, another thing to take into notice that we are in Tokyo, right? You know, a very, very, what's the word? The most diverse city in Japan. So it's gonna be less racism, or I guess they'll be more used to seeing other races here in a city like this compared to the countryside. I decided to break it up into 3 separate categories, okay? We're gonna be doing the stare test. Stare test, we're gonna walk around, you know, see what the stares are looking like, how they're feeling, you know, if there's anybody, you know, looking a little too hard, looking a little too crazy. The public spaces test, you know, see if people like to sit next to me or feel disgusted in my vicinity. And lastly, the interview test, where I talk with some of my friends who were on this trip with me, or maybe I even speak to people outside, which, you know, I am very socially awkward. I'm such a scared, frail individual who doesn't like to talk to people, so that'll be kind of difficult. We'll see. So let's go outside and start off with the stare test.
Wait, why does this nigga look like Nasty C on some shit? Hold on. Bro, this nigga, hold on.
I'm tripping. People outside, which, you know, I am very socially.
I be seeing like unrelated shit when I be watching shit. Just a little bit, bro. My boy, you know what I'm saying? But we know.
Awkward. I'm such a scared.
We thought about you a little bit.
Frail individual who doesn't like.
And that nigga does got like Japanese eyes too.
Like to talk to people.
And that nigga fry up. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, by the time that nigga fry up, like, boom, in the suit. So hard, like, yo.
Bro. So that'll be kind of difficult. We'll see. So let's go outside and start off with the stare test. I didn't really notice any stares at all. I'm gonna keep it a bug with you. Nobody stares at you if you're black, and that was until I realized I was not wearing my glasses. There was a time I was walking down the block and every single human being in the vicinity.
But I ain't gonna lie, bro. You don't look all the way black, though.
Stared in my direction. I know I said
like I feel like your mixture is not like your percentage of black to Asian is not really sabotaging you too much. Feel what I'm saying? So people. I'm not picking it up easily.
That much.
That's what I'm getting.
Everything I said, all right? Because nigga, every single person was staring for a little minute. It's not necessarily a bad stare all the time, and let's be honest, who wouldn't want to stare at a gorgeous chocolate alpha male as myself? Okay, you could low-key tell when somebody's staring at you.
Pause, bro. When he
at you in like a negative, you know.
You gonna have to tone it down, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? We cool, but you know what I'm saying? That TOS shit. I'm just saying.
Connotation. Or if they're looking at you in some, oh, like that's a nice outfit, or that's a nice. One thing I have noticed, bro, people really like outfits here. This is like a big like fashion.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. That's like one of the things where I gotta like touch Japan is because of y'all tasting like, you know what I'm saying? Like the cloth, the fabric. You know what I'm saying? The clothes, the cloth, the fashion.
Type of city, because half the time it just like they were looking at me, it wasn't looking at me in like a negative way. It was like, oh, I like the outfit, or the outfit's interesting, or you know, this person looks interesting. And let's be honest, if you do see a polar bear in Arlington, Texas, you might take a couple glances at it. It's not necessarily the worst thing in the world, because yeah, black people are kind of polar bears in Arlington, Texas. I mean, I've probably seen a total of like,
what you mean by that?
10 black people so far. There's a difference between a, you know, get out of my country, you dirty nit, and a, oh, that's an interesting specimen. I've never seen a human being as, you know, beautiful and aesthetically pleasing as yourself, which a lot of people would probably say about me. So far, I haven't really experienced anything crazy. It's been nothing but love towards me. However, I did notice that
I'm a man being, though. You gotta understand, like, your audience sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody like. I'm just saying. I'm pretty big, bro. Japan is the most racist country. I'm pretty sure this can also apply for research purposes. So imagine, you know what I'm saying? It's not only women that will come and research these things. You feel? Be cognizant of that, my boy.
When I was walking with one of my black,
or you can try this. Start a new channel where you can be, you know what I'm saying? You can go crazy with the TOS joints. You feel me? That way, people who wanna engage with your material content for educational purposes, they don't have to see the TOS version. You get it. I feel like you get it now.
Friends,
You
Japanese
gotta
girl
get it
happened to come out of the corner, point to my friend and be like, Nigato. Can you confirm that they called you Nigato on a drive-by?
Yes, I'm not gonna lie, it hurt my feelings, but hey man, we're in Japan, so it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't count. They can't be racist, bro. It's cool.
What if they were admiring?
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Hold on. I feel like, let me see if Japan is a third world country. Because even like in South Africa, my nigga, we came up with that shit. Okay, but shit, that's so ignorant. Okay. It's not a third world country. It is considered a highly developed nation. The term third world is outdated and was originally used to describe countries that were not aligned with NATO. First world countries. Okay. Is Japan a first, second, or third world country? Let's see that. Is Japan Okay. What the fuck is the answer? Nigga, get on my face. Bro, all these ads, dog. I hate this shit. Second world country. Come on, bro. Is it or is it not? Do people even still consider these like classifications of worlds nowadays? First, list of third world countries. Let me see the list. Japan ain't in it. Let's do this. Where that shit at? Where that shit at? Where y'all at? Where y'all ass at? Where y'all ass at, Japan? Oh, it's not even on here, though. Where y'all ass at? My boy right here, right? Okay. I see. But how, bro? Like, I find so much similarities between, you know what I'm saying, Japan and South Africa, dog. How is that possible, bro? You know what I'm saying? Hong Kong, Switzerland. Man, this is interesting. Denmark. Okay. So I guess what was the point I was making?
The fact that I'm like Killer B, you know? Ooh, Nigato, Naruto. Look, it sounds.
Oh yeah, the fact that nigga doesn't matter in Japan. You feel me? That was my whole thing. But I guess, you know what I'm saying, it goes back to the specified history of the Americans. And that's why it holds so much weight in America than anywhere else in the world.
Or what if we're just mispronouncing what it actually means?
That's what I was thinking. It might mean something else. So if you guys know what that means in the comment section, let me know.
So from where I'm from, nigga means give. Nigga. Give.
So now we got the stair test out of the way. Let's
look it up. Do your homework.
What the public spaces train test? See if people want to sit next to an African American.
So this whole meaning thing is really a
skinned,
deep thing.
curly haired, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 on some days, handsome individual.
Cannot get off of his own, bro. I mean, it ain't wrong. Just do it in your own time. You know what I'm saying?
It's just kind of perfect, though. Well, actually, no, because no one will sit next to you. They might just not sit because you have a suitcase. Not even that, yeah, you're in a bad spot. Maybe move to your left so leave an open seat.
Look at how awkward you gotta be in public transport, bro.
Little voiceover part right here. I tried to do the train test to see if anybody would sit on not on me on the train. Unfortunately it failed. As you can see by this 10 yen coin cheese pool looking reaction, nobody got on the train at this time, but I was able to test it again a little later. I just didn't get it on video, and the train was absolutely packed, but nobody gave a damn about my.
But like, how do you quantify the fact that nobody's sitting next to you on the train, bro? It's racism, bro.
So train test, yeah, people don't really.
I'm saying sometimes, bro, I feel like, yo, be aware of the extent of your own ignorance, bro, when we breaking down some of these issues, bro, because maybe I just want to go sit this window doesn't even open, bro. I just want some air, dog. Yeah, I just want some air. How you gonna demonize me because I'm not sitting next to you? Because, you know what I'm saying? This seat, bro. There's this girl here, bro. I'm trying to kick it with her. Nigga, just... I'm just saying, bro. How are we definitely certain that, yo, these motherfuckers ain't even here because of my skin color right now, right?
They care. At least they didn't care in my experience and when I was there with the bros. Since I am here with my friends, you know, I think it'll be a good idea to ask them what they've experienced so far on this trip. All right, so I am here with my bro Caleb. Have you experienced any, you know, interesting racism or any discrimination out here in your time?
I think this is one experience. We're walking past the Tokyo Sky Tree, right? And it's me and Tommy. As we're walking by, it's this one.
Because I feel like at a certain point, bro, you get, oh shit, bro, this nigga from Japan. Hey yo, I think I
They just kind of laugh. Nothing crazy. She goes like, we're walking past the Tokyo Sky Tree, right? And it's me and Tommy. As we're walking.
Yeah, this nigga Tommy.
By.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? Nah, what I was about to say is the fact that, you know what I'm saying, like, bro, I'm on a train, whatever reason I got going on in terms of me, you know, choosing a different seat may have nothing to do with the color of your skin, right? Number one, clearly. Number two, you're just getting yourself paranoid for nothing. You're out there, you know, just because a sample group of 10 people, a sample group of even if 100 people passed by you and didn't even take the seat. What the fuck? How is that like? How does that determine that Japan is the most racist country?
It's this one girl and her boyfriend.
I'm just saying.
See us. She says something to him, and they just kind of laugh. Nothing crazy. She goes like, do whatever. Like, let's do something. Yeah. So this is her, right? She goes like this.
It's the typical black man pose, I guess, because
It's the forearm.
there is a meme with the.
This is the black man pose. You know, we gotta confirm shit here, family. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do. The black man pose. Official, let me put it like that, right? Black man pose. Oh shit, no, that's a 5. Damn, I thought that was a 4. I thought that was a 4. Hold on. Black man pose, bro. This? Wait. Where's this? Where's the 4? Strike 1.
4, but I mean, he looks nuts.
Yo, Love Hilal, bro. Come on. What are we doing here, nigga? You know what I'm saying? Number one, you assume that people is racist because they don't want to take a seat next to you in the train. Number two, you're just taking random, like, 4. This is number 4, like, in terms of throwing up a 4. You feel me? Like, using your hand. Like, signing a 4. This is a black man sign. I don't know what seed you're planting in the brains of young people, but
Nothing like
yeah,
that.
let's hear you cook,
meme
man.
on the screen. He looks nothing like him. So does that go to show? All black people look the same, or black people like to do that 4 pose, or all black people are Atlanta demons. I have a friend here named 4D Shams. Y'all might recognize y'all might know him. So what have you experienced?
They definitely have been looking at me like, what is this black man, this BBC destroyer? Sorry, that was a little
It's
too
not
much.
getting cut. None of this is getting cut.
But I don't think it's like malicious stares, but they definitely like stare.
But these niggas, I know, I feel like these niggas, you know what I'm saying? Group of content creators and shit, because I know homie right here too. Like, I feel like they all like just camped up in Japan just doing their content. This is crazy. Because, you know what I'm saying, since I also want to, you know what I'm saying, get out there, feel me, travel on some shit, you feel me, I might just like contribute to, you know what I'm saying, culture shocking Japan into being like, yo, dog, relax, this ain't even deep, bro. And just, you know what I'm saying, adding to the number of black content creators that just like end up residing that side, bro. Sounds like a good idea if you ask
And
me.
like wonder like, oh, okay, this is an
the
interesting
boys,
site.
Very interesting specimen. Here we have an African-American male in his natural habitat. In other news, in order to really test, you know, if Japan hates black people or dislikes black people, I might have to, you know, try some other measures. Just walking around is not gonna work. These people are extremely nice, a little bit too nice, so.
Okay, and what does that mean exactly?
It's like you're you know, hiding your true feelings in, and you're trying to put on a show of politeness.
Okay.
You're trying to be polite, but underneath you're feeling something else. So it's actually there's The full sentence is honenmai tatemai.
And so you're saying that like sometimes Japanese people will put on like a front, like they're nice to you or kind, but secretly they don't feel those genuinely. Okay.
So even though they're angry, they don't express it openly. You know, they're very repressed about it.
How would you like? Just out of curiosity, like as a black person myself, like how do the Japanese women view interracial dating or like just trying to get to know one another?
That's a good question.
I think they're very open to it.
Have you experienced any like racism or any like prejudice
Not
around
overly,
here?
no, not
Okay.
to be honest.
But I was thinking maybe, you know, more in the countryside is a little bit, I would assume it's a little bit worse.
Yo, that Uber driver was cool as shit. I'm not gonna lie. He was saying some real shit.
Not like he would have ever called us the hard R.
Right after, literally right after. Can't make this up. He dropped the hard R right after that. I guess he didn't have any ill intent. Bro was trying to talk about free speech. Y'all know how that goes, bro. That definitely doesn't help the case of this country. All right, now that I am officially back, you know, home and, you know, at the setup and things of that nature, I can give you guys a little good recap. Tokyo did not really experience anything crazy. I did go to the countryside, so I went down, you know, a little further south to visit family. And was there racism? I don't know if I would say racism, but the stares were definitely worse, and they were definitely more on some like a type of stare. Yeah, I didn't really record much of that interaction, you know, because I was, you know, spending time. It was like vacation time and things of that nature. But now that I, you know, experienced Japan and, you know, for a good 14 days, okay, unless you live there as a full citizen, you're not that interaction, you know, because I was, you know, spending time. It was like vacation time and things of that nature. But now that
Dickies not on some TOS vibe, nigga. I'm talking Dickies, the clothing brand, nigga. Dickies workwear. Oh, they got the workwear. I remember when this shit was a thing when I was growing up, bro. Especially the shoes, you feel me? Dickies shoes, bro. Shit was going crazy.
you know, experience.
I'm saying around my parts.
Japan and, you know, for a good 14 days.
Nah, bro, I feel like, you know what I'm saying, Japan, though, in terms of settlement, we might have to consider, though. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay, unless you live.
Yeah, bro, it looks so attractive.
There as a full citizen,
but like, I wanna
you're not
get
gonna be able to really know what it's like to live there. Even if you're Asian, that's not enough time to really truly grasp the experience of
the experience. That's what I'm saying. Like me, I'm trying to like get out there on some shit. Like I feel like one of the places that I would consider in terms of settlement, if that's what we end up doing, right? Because you know God, bro. You know God, bro. You know what I'm saying? You may tell him his plans, but then you know what I'm saying, you may laugh in your face. I don't know if y'all know that meme or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, yo, shit might change. So I'm just like, yo, if I get to a point where okay, we can settle and blah blah blah, I feel like Japan is one place to consider for sure. I don't know, but I was thinking probably also, you know what I'm saying, maybe New Zealand, maybe Australia, maybe, you know what I'm saying, places like, but I heard, bro, these kind of places where, let me say first world or some shit. Let me just say as long as the motherfucker's safe. As long as the motherfucker's safe, nice, you know what I'm saying, nice business opportunity, bro, for investment, shit like this. Opportunity for engagement in terms of a heart's desire. You feel me? I'm done, bro. I'm cool. I'm saying there's ways around this. And to y'all traditionalists that don't even want people to engage with, you know what I'm saying, maybe foreign people to engage with like y'all country's affairs and cultures and things like that. Yo, I get the fact of preserving that, protecting that, and not letting anybody like exploit that on some negative vibe. But I mean, for as long as y'all laws, you feel me, like the laws in y'all country still have ways that business can be conducted by foreign individuals, I feel like that may be the new way of infiltrating like a land that you're not really from. And trust me, it's worth taking advantage of. You know, it's worth taking advantage of. You feel what I'm saying? Look, I'm gonna be in your land like on some business vibe. You feel me? On some business engagement vibe. On some vibe where it's like higher purpose. You know what I'm saying? On some vibe where it's like it benefits your country in a broader scheme of things. You feel me? And once I infiltrate shit there, it's like your whole people just benefiting from that. And my people is benefiting from that too. So it's like, why do we keep people away from that kind of engagement, right? For as long as society is capitalistic, country, like laws in countries are gonna have that kind of motion about them, right? And for as long as that's the case, you can't really talk me away from engaging in your affairs, nigga. I'm there, nigga. You feel me? It is what it is. I feel like obviously it gets crazy when motherfuckers don't even update their, you know, don't got the right kind of papers and shit like that, coming to hark up in your country, you know what I'm saying, exploiting resources and shit like that. But with all that being said, man, when it comes to settlement, man, yeah, Japan might be one of the ones, dog. I'm not gonna lie to you, feel me? Shout out my boy Love Hilal. Yeah, Japan is the most racist, but like, yeah, actually, that's one of the other things that I wanted to like just point out, the fact that I gotta go there myself. So, you know what I'm saying, making plans to do it, man, working on it. Facts.
Make enough money. They're poor. Most Americans.
But yes, preach, my boy, just preach, sing right here. In order for us to get there, right, we gotta make this money, right, so that the business intention can be there, so that the business opportunity can be reached for us to get to lands like Japan and blah blah blah, right?
Americans aren't poor because they don't make enough money. They're poor because they've built their life around the wrong habits. I'm not talking about buying Starbucks, and it's not because of the extra guac either. It goes way deeper than that. But
this nigga's so addicted to guacamole, bro. I gotta find out. Number one, I gotta figure out how the fuck you spell that shit. Number two, what the fuck it is. Guacamole? Let me just... It's gonna correct me, dog. Oh, that's how you spell it? That's how you spell it? Is it a dip? What the avocados, lime, salt, Roma tomatoes, onion, fresh. Okay, yeah, it's clear it's nasty. But he always brings it up, man. My boy just Sing always brings it up, man.
not anymore. Because in this video, I'm gonna go over the 7 habits that keep so many Americans stuck and poor financially, that way you don't have to be. Money habit number 1 is thinking the system is gonna take better care of you than you. A video just went viral of a mom telling her son not to get a job because if he got a job, then the government would take away her welfare. Take a listen.
Getting no job. If you go get a job, they're gonna take my Section 8. Then you won't be able to get no Section 8. You're not going to get no job. They're gonna count your income against my Section 8 and my link card. You're not working. No.
This is so unfortunate. The government will never take good care of you, and it will never take as good care of you as you could. Now, to be fair, sometimes there is a need for government assistance. I get that. But this is not that case. If you really want to be financially free and you don't want to have to worry about money and you want to have the nice things, the nice vacations, the nice clothes, the nice cars, you cannot rely on the government, because when you rely on the government, you're going to be unfulfilled, unsatisfied, and you're gonna stay broke. Habit number 2 is you buy what you qualify for, not what you can afford. English is my second language, but let me translate a very popular American saying to you. When Americans say I can afford this new iPhone, what they really mean is I can make the MMP, minimum monthly payments, I hope. A new iPhone might cost you $1,200 out of pocket if you bought it cash, or you can buy it with 6 easy payments of $200 a month with 0% APR. Most people are looking at this saying, it ends up being the same amount of money, so why not save that extra $1,000 today and generate a return on the $1,000? That way I can make more money for myself, so give me the payment plan. But there's a catch. Why would any financially savvy company lend you money at 0% APR? Because if you go to the bank, no bank is gonna lend you money for free. You get a mortgage, they're gonna charge you interest. You get a credit card loan, they're gonna charge you interest. You get a home equity line of credit, they're gonna charge you interest. So why would a company charge you 0% APR? And the reason why is because the companies know how profitable 0% APR is. And that might have you scratching your head. How is 0% APR profitable? Well, it's profitable because of 3 different reasons. Number 1, they know that they can make more sales when they charge you $200 a month at 6 easy installments as opposed to $1,200 today, because that $1,200 is very painful. That's a lot of money leaving your bank account versus $200 leaving your account today. It's not as painful. So it's easier to get you to buy something that you normally would not buy. Problem number 2 is when you go out and you make this $200 a month payment, the second thing that happens is you're much more likely to buy extra things that you wouldn't normally buy because you don't have $1,000 leaving your bank account.
That's the concept of spending money that you don't got. So that's how that captures you.
Account today. So when you pay $200 a month, now maybe you get the Apple Care. Maybe you buy the phone case. Maybe you buy some AirPods too, because you don't have the pain of $1,200 in your bank account. If you paid it with all $1,200 today with cash,
I ain't gonna lie. The credit industry, the financial credit industry,
You might not buy the AirPods or the Apple Care because you realize that's a lot of money leaving your bank account. So when you're paying this, you end up buying more stuff at that company. And then number 3 is they know a lot of people are not gonna pay it off in time. And if you don't make all 6 easy payments, well, now you get slapped with some easy interest. And now this interest isn't 5% or 10% or even 20%, it's 25%, 29%, sometimes 35% interest. Your rule, and you're not gonna like me for saying this, but I don't make these videos to make friends. I make these videos to help you be better with money. Your rule is if it doesn't put money in your pocket, you do not finance it. Yes, this includes your iPhone. Yes, this includes 0% APR. Yes, this includes your car. Don't find.
Oh my God. Okay, cool. I respect the fact that, you know what I'm saying, my boy Jasprit, he teaching people to have the habit to, you know what I'm saying, seek out opportunities for getting assets. You know what I'm saying? No matter how small it could be in small forms, but something that could like help you make money. So get that iPhone to probably post up some social media content that you can end up monetizing and make money. Bro, you can literally use your head, use your brain. You know what I'm saying? You can use that phone to probably, you don't want to do the social media thing, help somebody, you know what I'm saying, design their branding, whatever. You feel me? Help them brand whatever that maybe let's say the functionality of your phone, your simple phone, is better than the functionality that somebody who's busy with some other dream is you know what I'm saying, is looking for. And so therefore you can offer the service with your phone, since yours is like better and more advanced. Design some you know what I'm saying, graphic art for them. Make some money, bro. Use your head, bro. Use your brain, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, yo, like the little that you have can literally work, bro.
Finance it.
Just make sure it makes money, you know what I'm saying? Puts money in your pocket.
The only exception would be like the house that you live in. Go out and get a mortgage for that. But for everything else that you're buying that doesn't put money in your pocket, no more financing. Instead, buy it with cash or don't buy it. Habit number 3 is you reward yourself for being broke. Picture this. You're behind on your bills. Work is piling up and now you decide to take a mental health day and you spend $300 you don't have on a beautiful spa package. I don't doubt that you're working hard. But if your bank account looks like your favorite convenience store, 7-Eleven, there's a problem. You're not rewarding growth. You're not rewarding success. You're rewarding effort. It's kind of like a participation trophy for trying. When you were going through the tough times, you're in the middle of a whole bunch of crap, this is not the time to stop because that doo-doo is gonna smell like doo-doo. You gotta get out of the crap first before you stop. So if you don't have the money, do not go out and spend money because you're gonna dig yourself into even more crap and it's gonna be even stinkier down that hole. Do not stop when you are stuck. Get out first. And I get it. Sometimes things are going to be hard. Sometimes you're going to want to break. Sometimes you're going to just want to get away. And there are ways.
Sometimes you burn out, bro. Sometimes you're weak. Sometimes you're overwhelmed. Feel me? But I feel like there's a difference between that celebration point and the breathing point. Taking a breath and really going full on straight out celebrating on some, oh, let's kick our feet up. You know what I'm saying?
Is to do that without spending the additional money. But when you are going deeper into debt, when you are fueling this broke habit of rewarding yourself for being broke, well, now you're rewarding bad habit.
It is a broke habit. It is a broke habit.
Almost impossible to get out. It's okay to take a break, but don't go out and reward yourself for not
right now. It's okay to take
seeing the success. Reward yourself when you see the success. And give yourself a break when you need a break. Habit number 4 is treating time as free and money as scarce. Time is the only asset that you cannot get more of. We've all heard that before. But chances are you could use your money to buy you another week of time every single month. Take a look. If you're making over $50,000 a year, here are 5 places where you can hire somebody for less than your hourly wage to buy you back some of your time. Number 1 would be for cooking. Have someone cook your lunches, cook your dinners. Number 2 is to help you with cleaning around the house. Number 3 is to help you mow the lawn, shovel the snow, take care of the outside of your house. Number 4 is to help you and your family do the laundry so you don't have to do it every week. And number 5 is to take care of the driving. Recently, my wife and I moved to a new house. It's a little bit further from my office, and I decided, instead of me driving to work every morning and spending 40 minutes on the road, how about I get an Uber or a Lyft in the mornings and in the evenings? It's gonna give me about an hour to an hour and a half of time back every single day, depending on traffic. And now I sit in the back and I get my work done, and I just got another hour to an hour and a half back every single day. You can buy each one of these services for $15 to $25 an hour, depending on what the service is and how quality of work.
I feel like this kind of mindset right here is supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? It's finna be my next kind of phase, you know what I mean? Like level of mental structuring, bro. my routines and shit like that. But paying for these services, I feel like I'm just still at a point where I still gotta take care of these services. You feel me? Yeah, we are on a vision of like growth. You know what I'm saying? At some aspects of my lifestyle. You feel me? To a point where I can just have all these services taken care of to open more hours for myself, so that we can cook up some more. You feel me? Eat some more, bro. Because when you cook more, you eat more. You know what I'm saying? When you eat more, you... All right, let's not go down that. I'll bet.
Work that you want, and if you're making over $50,000 a year, well, now it might be worthwhile for you to spend some money on these things to get your time back. And these 5 things, if you do all 5, could buy you 40 hours of time a month. That's an additional working week of time, month after month after month, that you could use to relax, or you can use it to earn more money. And if you're not making $50,000 a year, here's an option that everybody can use, which is option number 5.5. Don't waste time. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say, I'm gonna drive 15 minutes to save 3.
So basically, yeah, we're looking at like the understanding of numeracy, dog. The advancement and multiplication of numeracy. The numerical world. You feel me? The world of numbers. Because we talking time, we talking money. You understand what I'm saying? We talking quantities of shit. You feel what I'm saying? Now we replacing this. You know what I'm saying? This amount of time with this service. But this service is gonna need us to have money to compensate somebody so that our time is open, so that we can produce more of, you know what I'm saying, of the income financially. So it's all a numbers game. And I feel like the older we get, you know what I'm saying, especially if this kind of information like is valuable to you, that's all you gotta understand. It's just a multiplication of your numbers. These numbers is connected. You feel what I'm saying? Time, money. What else could be considered? You know what I'm saying? Whatever is revealed, you know what I'm saying, as a numbers thing within your own mind, it's all connected with how you treat money, how you treat your time, how you treat, you know what I'm saying? All these numbers, just like, they affect one another. You know what I'm saying? On some shit. For real.
$3 on a tank of gas. Be smart. Now, when you're spending your time, who are you spending your time with? What are you spending your time on? Where can you stop wasting time? That way you have some additional time to maybe learn on how you can increase your income, or spend some time actually working. That way you have more money coming.
Increasing income from how you manage your time. Numbers, they're connected. Numbers, they're always connected. Even the whole like numbers in terms of analytics and statistics, shit like that, that does connect to even your vision of, you know what I'm saying, the numbers that you got going on for yourself. Because imagine knowing the statistics of shit like your business. You feel what I'm saying? That way you can accurately execute whatever you got to execute in terms of getting your numbers and of scaling your numbers, scaling your business. You feel what I'm saying? So even like the info in terms of quantity wise, very important, because it connects. Because now if you could connect all the numbers of your operations, you know what I'm saying? You connect all those numbers, you can scale that and you can capitalize. Now we're talking numbers financially, right? Now that we're talking numbers financially, we can fund something that's gonna help us open up more time, right? So we can fund something that's gonna take care of some services that, you know what I'm saying, we would take care of otherwise. But then now somebody else is taking care of that. We can use the financial numbers to compensate for that, so that we can open up for more hours that we can put in to make more money.
Now, for those of you that are investors or want to become better investors, I want to remind you that my team at Briefs Media publishes a free daily report called Market Briefs, where we break down what's happening in the economy. At the same time, the average American house has over 6,000. Again, you invested this money and you got an average 25% return a year, and you invest your money for the next 40 years. Again, you're not investing any more money, you're just investing the $6,700 that you have today. You're never investing another penny again, and you're averaging the 25% return. When it comes time for you to retire, you're gonna be rich. You're gonna have over $50 million when it comes time for you to retire. Now you might be wondering, well, that's kind of an odd thing to say. If I'm in credit card debt, how do you expect me to invest this money, and how am I going to get the 25% return? Well, here's the interesting thing.
Where is it?
This is below the average credit card debt per American household, while the average APR on your credit card debt is around 25%, which means this is the math that your credit card company has done. This is why your credit card company is living in those big buildings, flying around in private jets. On your credit card debt is around 25%, which means this is the math that your credit card company has done. This is why your credit card company is living in those big buildings, flying around in private jets, is because you are making them rich. And at the same time, the average American is watching hours and hours of Netflix, TV a day. If you are in credit card debt, you cannot afford.
Consumerist culture is what's slowing down a lot of things too.
$15 a month, but because it's costing you 3 hours of time a day. That's time you could be using to learning. That's time you could be using to learning how to earn more money. That's time you could be using to learn how to invest your money. That's time you could be using to learn how to pay down your debt. That's time you could be using to actually earn some additional money. You should not feel comfortable sitting there on the sofa after a long day watching Netflix when you know that this is what's making your credit card company rich. You gotta get out of that cycle. Habit number 6 is you're jumping over dollars to save a few pennies. We all know a broke cousin Bunty who will very easily spend $1,000 when it comes to going out, buying bottle service, eating out, and paying cover. But when it comes time to spending a few $100s on education to learn how to be a better investor, to learn how to earn more money, to learn how to be a better person and live a better life, the money is gone. When it comes time to book a trip to Cancun, they're the first ones to book their tickets, even if they gotta finance it because, well, American Express has got a promotion going on. But when it comes time to spending a little bit of money to improve your financial education, they're the ones to question it for days and weeks to see if it's a worthwhile investment. We are bred to spend money. It's very easy to spend money on going out, having fun, getting these experiences, and that's all cool, but I also want you to think about investing in your own education as well, and invest some money, some time, some energy into your own education. That was one of the things that really changed my life, was starting to invest, starting with books, then I bought classes, then I got some more stuff after that, but you got to be willing to invest a little bit of time and energy. I'm not saying go out and spend all of your money on this education, but there is a time and a place on something that might be worthwhile, whether it's a course, whether it's investing in research, whether it's investing in a conference or a seminar. Go out there and start learning, because your financial education is what's going to allow you to earn more money, invest better, grow your money, and build wealth. And we don't learn these things in school, but you gotta be willing to invest in yourself to do that. And habit number 7 is asking for permission to get started. I hear the same questions year after year after year. I don't know where to get started. Just tell me what to do. How do I start? Well, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You can go on Google, find a stock brokerage that you like. If you want to build wealth, you just gotta get started. And people get so scared to make the initial $100 investment. And I get it, it is scary, but listen, you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna screw up, but you're not gonna be able to screw up and get to the promised land. You're not gonna be able to get to the success until you actually take action. You got to be willing to screw up. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna make bad investments. You're gonna open up with bad brokerages. You're gonna lose money. It's a part of the process. We've all been there. Trust me, I have made a lot of mistakes. But you gotta be willing to try. Go on to Google and see what are some good brokerages out there. Then find some good stocks. Maybe start with an index fund. Maybe start with an ETF. Maybe start with a mutual fund. And get started with a little bit. Just dip your toes in the water. Start with $10, $50, $100, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you're comfortable losing. And then start to learn, because as soon as you invest some of your own money, what you're gonna do is you're gonna start analyzing a whole lot more. But you gotta be willing to put in the work and try and screw up. I know the first time you invest, it's very daunting, but it's kind of like getting in shape. When you want to get in shape, it's very easy to get overwhelmed with, oh my God, should I do high intensity workouts? Should I do low intensity workouts? Should I be doing carnivore diets? Should I be doing a vegan diet? Should I be doing this exercise, that exercise? When at the end of the day, all you got to do is put down the dough. You have to get on the treadmill, you start doing some weightlifting. And then once you start doing that, now you can start optimizing your diet. And then when you do that, now maybe you can start optimizing your workout. But you just gotta get started. It's the same thing with building wealth. You just gotta get on the treadmill and hit the on button. And that means get yourself a stock brokerage and just put in $50 and try something. Then you can start to improve. You're gonna lose money. It's a part of the process. You've heard me say it a million times. Investing has risks. You're never guaranteed to make money when you invest. In fact, you will lose money at some point. So make sure you always do your own due diligence and never blindly trust a random guy on YouTube. And the reason why I say this is because it's a part of the process. But unless you're willing to try, unless you're willing to fail, you're never gonna be able to get to where you wanna go. And again, if you want some additional resources, you can check out Market Briefs to get the daily reports and my investing masterclass as a bonus. If you make $80,000 a year from your job,
Ping, 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 nigga shit. Where the cream, nigga shit. Make it ring, nigga shit. Who the king in this bitch? Tell him fuck him, I ain't done. I'm gonna reload my gun. He my son now. I want to Super Saiyan 25. Super Saiyan 25. Super Saiyan 25. Super Saiyan 20. If you want, you can throw your ones. I don't give a fuck if you gon' go nuts. Taste my flesh, you gon' eat these guns. I'm the best out, nigga, I don't give a fuck. Who say what? High as fuck in the Maybach truck. Excuse my French, I'm drunk. Hey, where my fucking prodigies? I'm Super Saiyan Sensei. Not even Goku can hide away from this here sensei. Fuck you up with one eye closed and one hand in the strip, eh? No my gooping ben shit. No my gooping ben shit, bitch. I'm finna clone me somebody. This copy the meanest, copy the meanest, copy the meanest, copy the meanest cracks. This shit how to kick rocks. Bad romance between robots and PC bots. Ping, 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 nigga shit. Where the cream, nigga shit. Make it ring, nigga shit. Who the king in this bitch? Tell him fuck him, I ain't done. When I reload my gun, he my son now. I want Super Saiyan 25. 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 Ping, 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 nigga shit. Where the cream, nigga shit. Make it ring, nigga shit. Who the king in this bitch? Tell him fuck him, I ain't done. I'm gonna reload my gun. He my son now. I want Super Saiyan 25. Super Saiyan 25. Super Saiyan 25. Super Saiyan 20. If you want, you can throw your ones. I don't give a fuck if you gon' go nuts. Taste my flesh, you gon' eat these guns. I'm the best out, nigga, I don't give a fuck. Who say what? High as fuck in the Maybach truck. Excuse my French, I'm drunk. Hey, where my fucking prodigies? I'm Super Saiyan Sensei. Not even Goku can hide away from this here sensei. Fuck you up with one eye closed and one hand in the strip, eh? No my gooping ben shit. No my gooping ben shit, bitch. I'm finna clone me somebody. This copy the meanest, copy the meanest, copy the meanest, copy the meanest cracks. This shit how to kick rocks. Bad romance between robots and PC bots. Ping, 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 nigga shit. Where the cream, nigga shit. Make it ring, nigga shit. Who the king in this bitch? Tell him fuck him, I ain't done. I'm gonna reload my gun. He my son now. I want Super Saiyan 25. 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 Yeah.